How's it going, guys? JP here, and welcome to a brand new series here on my channel. Basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at a certain edition, and we're kind of going to be looking at it closely, pretty much looking at everything it has to offer, give my opinions about, everything from the presentation of it, to the artwork, to the film itself, to the special features, and even the picture quality if we're talking Blu-ray. And I'll basically, run down everything that comes with the edition, and then I'll pretty much give you guys, my opinions if you should pick it up or not. I mainly wanted to do this just because I had a few films that I really wanted to check out everything on, the special features and stuff, and I figured, if I'm going to invest all the time, I might as well at least give a review or something of it. So yeah. That's basically the idea of this thing. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be called A Closer Look At, which is, kind of a generic title. I'm pretty sure I heard that around somewhere before, but I was kind of lazy. Didn't really feel like thinking and racking my brain over something more creative. So today we're going to be talking about and having a closer look at Halloween, the 35th Anniversary Blu-ray Edition. Okay, now we're going to look at the artwork. Right away, I gotta say, I really like it. It's very simplistic in that it's just the side view of the Myers mask. It's kind of like that hand-drawn weird style, just simply black, white, and then there's a hint of orange around the eyes and the nose. So right away, gotta say, really like that artwork. On the inside, we have the Halloween original theatrical poster, which, is a nice touch. It's the first thing you see when you open it up. And let's face it, that's a classic poster, so it's good that that's there. And finally, we have the disc art, which is basically the art that is on the cover, which, looks nice. I like when there's disc art. I hate when there's just a gray background with silver lettering. It's terrible. So, plus to anybody who, decides to actually put disc art on their Blu-rays or DVDs. So with that said, I give the artwork for the Halloween 35th Anniversary Edition a 5 out of 5. I really, really do like it. It might be my favorite artwork that has been released, out of the countless editions of Halloween that there are. I really like the original theatrical poster, but for new artwork, this is definitely the best that I've seen. Okay, so for the presentation of this 35th Anniversary Edition of Halloween, we have a digibook style, which kind of makes it unique compared to the countless other releases of Halloween, because I don't think they've done a digibook style yet. This is actually the first digibook I've ever picked up, or actually even held in my hands, so I don't know exactly what they're supposed to look like, or what, the norm is for them. Right away, I do like that the traditional blue logo Blu-ray thing is switched up to orange. It really fits. The cover's embossed, which is nice. I like that. I like when they switch this up, man, because, the blue is so common. Anytime you see a different color, it instantly catches your eye. So that's a plus. On the inside, of course, you have the original theatrical poster, which is a nice touch. Then you have a under 20-page booklet, which, is the what they write really isn't anything that you can't read or hear in a documentary, so it's really nothing special. It's a quick read and, kind of dull. The photos are nice, though. I do like those. And finally, you have the back, which is the disc is housed in one of the cardboard sleeves, which is a big no-no for me. I absolutely hate when they do that, but I think it's kind of what they're supposed to do with these digibooks, so I guess I can't complain too much, but I really just prefer, it being housed in something other than a cardboard sleeve. It always bugs me. So on the back we have the listing of special features and the description and stuff, but it's just a piece of paper glued onto the actual release. That really, really bugs me. I don't know why it can't be just printed on there or inside or something. But that's kind of annoying, because this one really wants to come off, especially pulling it in and off the shelf. It will eventually come off. And this release is kind of thin. I remember I was at Walmart and I picked it up and I was like, this one's crushed. Let me grab another one. And I grabbed the other one and it was the same thing. I was like, oh, I guess it's not crushed. That's just how thin it is. And I don't know if that's normal with digibooks, but I kind of wish it was a little bit thicker. Also, comparing it to other Blu-rays on the shelf, it sticks out a bit, which is kind of annoying because I like everything kind of neat and the same. Reminds me of those old snapper cases that kind of get caught on stuff and just not really that cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Besides, the material that they use kind of can easily show the oils from your skin and stuff, and it becomes like fingerprinted really easy. That's a bit annoying. With that said, I really like certain things about the release, but there's too many kind of negatives to rate it really high. I give this release a 3 out of 5. Halloween from the year 1978 with a tagline of "The Night He Came Home." Now, Halloween is an absolute classic. Everybody knows about it. I've reviewed it before, so I'm not going to go into it too much. We follow the character of Michael Myers, who is a young boy we're kind of following through his eyes, and we kind of follow him one night as he decides to murder his older sister. Flash forward 15 years, he spent, that time in in sanitarium. He decides to escape one night and travel back to Haddonfield, which was his hometown. There we are introduced to the character of Laurie Strode, who is played by Jamie Lee Curtis, of course, and she is kind of your, everyday, typical teenage girl that's, kind of a babysitter, really right for the time, kind of like every type of girl was around that time. She is a little bit more observant as our main character and stuff. She's a little bit more aware of her surroundings and situations, compared to the other girls involved. We are introduced to her two friends, the neighbor kid that she's babysitting, the other neighbor girl that her friend's babysitting, and we're introduced to Sam Loomis. Now, Sam Loomis is the doctor of Michael Myers, and he is trying to convey to the sheriff and other people around him just how serious of a situation this is, that Michael Myers escaped, and that he is probably coming back there and, trying to, get them to understand that he's just pure evil, because that's kind of what the Michael Myers character is. He's not much of a man, even though he kind of is. He's more of a presence, an evil, just an evil thing. The Shape, they're basically, trying to stop him. Michael Myers goes on a killing spree, and so on and so on. That's basically your plot. Now, Halloween is, one of the best horror films ever made. I don't think, even if you don't really care for the movie too much, I don't think you can really deny the popularity of it, and it's a well-made movie. It's one of those films that just everything worked so well. Everything came together perfectly to create this film, from the the camera that they used to the people involved. If you didn't have this person over here involved, they never would have had the mask, or the score, or there's just so many things in this film that came together perfectly and just created this unthinkable film. You couldn't really write on paper and have all these things come together. It just had to happen naturally and kind of by accident. And it's just a film that will go down in history, has already, and will continue to be watched over and over again by fans of film and the horror films, but film in general. It's not my favorite horror film, but it is a lot of people's favorite horror film, and I can see why. It's a good one to pick. It really is a great example of what works really well in this genre. Now, over the past 5 years, I've really grown to like this film more and more. When I was a kid, this was not one of my favorites. I actually didn't even watch it. Barely, when it came on, I would watch a couple scenes, but I really wasn't that interested in it until I got older. And these past few years, I've really grown to like it more and more. It went from, my top 20 to my top 10, and, it's getting closer to my top 5. I went and seen it in the theater this year, and it was an absolutely incredible experience. One of my favorite experiences in recent memory, dealing with horror films, and, it just really is a fantastic film. What more can you say about it? It's been talked about, so many times. Anyway, let's get to the video quality. The video quality of this, I was actually really impressed with. It looks great on Blu-ray. I'm not exactly sure what the previous version was, because this was released on Blu-ray before. I believe this is a new transfer. Comparing it, I've not seen the first version, so I don't know which one's better. But I do know that I would probably give this, the film itself is a 10 out of 10. There's no doubt about it. And to me, a 10 isn't a perfect film. It's just a film that is, a straight up classic, and, there's not a whole lot wrong with it, because let's face it, no film is perfect. I've given a few films a 10 out of 10, but for video quality, I would probably give it a 4.5 out of 5. It's definitely, very, very, looks very, very crisp and awesome on Blu-ray. So, yeah. Halloween, the 35th Anniversary Edition, special features. First of all, Halloween has been put out so many times, countless times on DVD. It's had another Blu-ray release besides this one. There are probably, tons and tons of special features out there, tons of content. You can't realistically expect them to put them all on one release, although it would be really, really cool if they did. It's just not realistic. So the ones that are on this release, we do have some new ones, along with some ones that must have been ported over from something else. I don't really know, which feature came from which edition or whatever, or what could have been here. I just know what's on here and what, I watched all these, so I can talk about these ones. So first up, we have TV spots and radio spots. These can be cool if they're unique. These ones are kind of more run-of-the-mill type things, so nothing really special there. Trailer. Every edition should include a trailer. Every release of any movie should include a trailer. I know you say that, and you would be surprised, how many, I guess you guys wouldn't be, but, it surprises me how many DVDs come out and don't include the trailer of the original, the film's original trailer. Sometimes if I've seen a movie a bunch of times, I'll play that trailer before I watch it, because it's nostalgic and it's just fun to look at. I like seeing where the marketing campaign was at the time it was released and stuff, how they cut the trailer together. I like that stuff. It gets me in the mood to watch the movie. Then we have TV version footage. Now this was really cool. I have never seen the TV version. I've never seen the TV version footage, and it was definitely neat to watch and see new footage that I've never seen from Halloween. I mean, it was a cool experience. Unfortunately, it's not cut into the TV version. It's just the footage. It's not, spliced into the film. I know there is an edition that does have the TV version, which I'm definitely going to get now. But this edition would have been, a few many notches higher if they would have, included the full TV version. That would have just been really cool, cleaned it up, put it on Blu-ray. That would have been a really cool feature. Unfortunately, we just have the TV version footage, but still, I'm glad they included that, because I finally checked it out, and, it was kind of cool to look at. Then we have On Location 25 Years Later featurette. Now, this is just kind of a, revisiting the locations that the film was shot at years later. Kind of dull. It wasn't really like, a Horror's Hallowed Grounds by Sean Clark, which are super entertaining. They're more of that's more of like a show with it's comedic and stuff, and it's more of a presentation of these locations. This one kind of is just on location, and it's kind of boring. But still kind of neat to see the houses, years later and stuff. Then we have the two new features, which I guess we'll start with the audio commentary with writer-director John Carpenter and actor Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, this was pretty cool. It was nothing amazing. It's not a must-listen-to commentary or anything, but I did think it was kind of neat. John Carpenter, Jamie Lee Curtis bickering back and forth, I thought was hilarious. You have Jamie Lee Curtis talking about, who owned that car, that they're driving in the film, and John Carpenter's like, I don't know, it was 35 years ago, why do you ask me these things? I can't even remember, this, how am I going to remember whose car that was 35 years ago? Really funny hearing them bicker back and forth. John Carpenter seems really laid back and cool, and Jamie Lee Curtis, kept pointing out, it's not very informative, but Jamie Lee Curtis did point out, little flaws, technical errors and stuff like that I thought was, continuity stuff, which I thought was kind of cool. Nothing, super informative or super funny, but definitely, fun to listen to them talk. Then we have The Night She Came Home. This is a featurette following Jamie Lee Curtis as she attends her one and only convention, I guess. Now, I'm not huge into conventions. I actually never been to one. I really want to, but I am very fascinated by them. I love seeing the footage from them, and I love hearing the YouTubers and friends' stories about their experiences at conventions. And this one was really, really cool. It shows Jamie Lee Curtis, follows her as she starts day one and, goes through the convention thing for the first time and meets the fans, signs autographs, shows the fans lining up to see her for hours and hours. And I gotta say, I'm not a huge Jamie Lee Curtis fan. People know that about me. I think she's very, very overrated. I will say that after watching this, her image is, much more positive. I see her in a much more positive image. I always kind of felt that Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't get horror, and she doesn't get horror fans, and that even became more true when I was listening to the commentary, and she was saying how she will not watch a horror film, and she doesn't, like horror. She doesn't like watching horror. So I always kind of felt like she, just doesn't get it, which is fine. Everybody isn't gonna get it. And then, seeing her, even though she doesn't get it and she doesn't really understand it, seeing her still appreciate the people coming up to her and, trying to make their day better, which is what you really want from these, people we look at in this certain light, these actors and horror genre, filmmakers and stuff. We look at them in this certain light. We want them to be awesome people, and, it's just so much more awesome when they, act how you envision them to act. So, that was just really cool, seeing her take, extra time and, not bitching and complaining about it. And, just really making people's day, because that's what she was doing. These people really wanted to see her, and it was cool to see them, look satisfied. There would be nothing worse than seeing those people disappointed as they left. So yeah, I mean, it was a really cool look at somebody who's not into the whole thing, and never did the convention thing, and kind of just be there and watch her journey through it and watch her really appreciate it. So that is a fantastic special feature. Also seen, a bunch of YouTubers on there. It was kind of fun playing, Spot the YouTuber. Saw Chris and Teresa, Horror's Ball, a couple other guys I seen on there. Really cool to see, them show up to that convention and stuff. So that's it for the special features. I give the special features, you know what? I'll give them a 3.5 out of 5. There really isn't a whole lot there to say, that was super, super awesome, special features wise. The Night She Came Home feature is pretty much your, main meat on the bone right there. And besides that, I've seen way better, line up a special feature, so can't give this one too high of a score, but 3.5 out of 5, not too bad. And for this edition, I'm either going to do a skip it, recommend, or highly recommend. In this edition, I just recommend it. I don't highly recommend it because there's so many editions out there, Halloween. Just get this one if you don't own it on Blu-ray. If you already own it on Blu-ray, the other edition, then don't worry about this one. This is not a must-own edition. But it was definitely... I'm happy with the purchase on this one. So, see you guys next time for another edition of A Closer Look.